So recently I went back and watched the 60th specials of Doctor Who again for the first time since they aired. And with season 2 about to hit our screens, I thought I'd jump straight back into season 1 again to refresh my brain. Just a heads up, I will not be covering the church on Ruby Road just yet. I'll post that around Christmas time. Eventually I will release all of my reviews to every single gatwa episode in one video and I'll stick it in there. So just don't stress it too much. On to Empire of Death. I'm going to do a quick run through of the episode and then I'll give you my thoughts afterwards. So we open where we left off with Mel and the Doctor escaping Susan and Sutekh's dust of death. So Mel and the Doctor finally get away, but everyone else dies. And I mean everyone. Oh, but somehow Ruby's alive though. Everyone is chilling at the time window and then Sutekh appears. He's not killing the Doctor for some reason, and this is because Sutekh cannot rest until he finds out who Ruby's mother is. Nah, makes sense. The Doctor and gang dip into the TARDIS, which is somehow here now. But it's the memory TARDIS from Tales of the TARDIS, because that makes sense, and it isn't just them trying to make the most out of this set, which obviously costs quite a lot of money. The Doctor sits and admires the dead universe that he essentially caused. Long story short, Sutekh planted Susan triads everywhere the TARDIS landed, and now all the Susans are blowing the death dust. Okay, you got it? Sound. Anyway, the whole universe is gone besides one woman on a distant planet. The Doctor has a chat with the woman, and the woman has forgot her daughter's name and has now realised that she is dead. She gives the Doctor a spoon because he needs some metal. The Doctor uses the spoon to power a screen inside the memory TARDIS, and it's at this point that Mel starts hearing Sutekh's voice in her head. Oh, please don't kill Mel, please. She's my favourite. The screen shows Roger Ap Gwilliam from 73 yards. The Doctor now remembers that Roger made DNA testing compulsory when he was in charge in 2014. So the gang head to 2046 to get a DNA sample of Ruby's mum to show Sutekh to hopefully let them go. The Doctor tells Mel to guard the doors. He then gets a blood sample off of Ruby, and then the computer is scanning to find out who her mother is. Then Mel comes in and now she's completely possessed. Mel takes the Doctor and Ruby to Unit HQ. This is where Sutekh is, and Sutekh now uses his radiation powers that he used in Pyramids of Mars to try and defeat the Doctor again. I like this callback, it's cool. So Ruby gives in and says she'll show Sutekh her mum. Ruby is about to show him, but then she smashes the screen. Ruby and Doc then put a leash on Sutekh and then take Doggy for a walk in the time vortex. The Doctor flies Sutekh through the vortex, and by bringing death to death, he brings life. And everyone is back alive again. The Doctor is big happy because everyone is alive, but then he is big sad because he must murder now. He lets Sutekh go, banishing him into the vortex forever. Talk about deja vu. They're back at Unit and everyone is vibing. Morris then reveals Ruby's mother. Now guys, for the past 2 months, we've been bigging up this massive reveal. Who is Ruby's mum? Is she a god? Is she a returning villain? Is she a Time Lord? Let's find out, guys. I'm so excited. Oh, she's just some guy. Alright then. The Doctor takes Ruby to go and find her mother and said that they shouldn't meet as she made her choice a long time ago and Ruby should respect that. However, Ruby doesn't listen and goes in anyway. Ruby and her mum reunite and it's well sad. The Doctor looks sad. Ruby then tells the Doctor that she can't travel anymore due to the fact she has a family now. They do emotional goodbye and Ruby cries, Doctor cries, and we cry. Mrs. Flood is now on the roof in Romana's coat, foreshadowing season 2. Ooh. She bids us goodnight and roll credits. This is the first time I've not arrived at one of these reviews being dead happy about what I've just watched. It's not great. But I have theories on how it could have been better. I personally think that this should have been a 3-part finale. So part 1, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, staying the exact same, perfect as it is. Then I think part 2 should explore how the universe is dead. You know, we have the whole kind woman thing. Maybe it's expanded on a little bit more. We have the Doctor realizing universe is dead. Everybody dies at the start. Maybe everyone dies at the end of Legend of Ruby Sunday, whatever. It's not really important. The second episode, just focusing on dead universe, and maybe the gang come up with some plans on how to defeat Sutekh. They realize, you know, Roger Ap Gwilliam, he brought the DNA sample in, so, you know, we keep that. They go to the chapel, they fight, they do the DNA testing, keep that. And I think the cliffhanger for episode 2 should have been Mel being possessed by Sutekh and the screen saying DNA sample, Miss Ruby Sunday, next of kin, and it's like, oh my god, we're about to find out who Ruby's mum is. Oh, Mel's possessed now, what's gonna happen? Wait a week. That should be the end of episode 2 and the 3-part finale. Then I think the whole of episode 3 should be one continuously long battle between the Doctor and Sutekh, because the main criticism for this episode, well, actually the main criticism is Ruby's mum, but the second main criticism for this episode is how easily Sutekh was defeated by just being taken on a walk, and I can sort of understand. As much as I do do like the whole, you know, you bring death to death, you bring life. I think that's quite cool, but I do think, yeah, they are right. Sutekh was defeated. For how much he was bigged up to be this massive, insane god of death, he was defeated by literally being put on a leash and taken through the time vortex. So I can get where that comes from. So I think the whole episode should have been the Doctor doing small things here and there, clever things, technobabble, clever things that slowly restore life. So I don't think it should just be one big reset button like it was. It should have, throughout the episode, slowly restored life to all the different planets, and then they all come together. All the planets in unison come together with their weapons and destroy Sutekh. I think that would have been a way better ending. And that way, yeah, even if the Ruby's mum payoff wasn't good, we had a good Sutekh defeat with all the planets coming together. Even Skaro, we could have had a Dalek cameo of the Daleks destroying Sutekh. They all used their weaponry to come together and destroy Sutekh. I think that would have been a way better episode, and well, better ending to what we got. Also, this would have meant that with Joy to the World included in season 1, which it is, we would have got a 10 episode series. We would have got a 10 episode series, which is what we've all been wanting. Really, that's what Jodie had, and I feel like we should have had that rather than 8 episodes, but it's fine. So I would have preferred that, yeah. And also I think it would have shut the fans up who like to complain about things all the time. Because let's be real, yes, Sutekh's a massive god, and he was defeated quite easily, but that's Doctor Who. When does that not happen? Let's talk about The Kind Woman. It was heartwarming when I watched it for the first time. I watched it on midnight release in this very chair. I actually filmed my reaction. Maybe I could find it and stick it in. My reaction to when I found out who Ruby's mum was. I was very disappointed.
It's just a woman. It's just a woman. It's just a woman. Big reveal. Ruby's mum is just a woman.
Yeah, so The Kind Woman, let's go back to that. I can't be the only person who thought that The Kind Woman was Ruby's mum, and Ruby was the baby who passed away. When she realises that her child is dead, that is like really heartbreaking. Like I got really sad at that bit. Like I was actually sat here like tearing up, really sad. When she gives the spoon to the Doctor, being like her only valuable thing left because he needs metal, she gave it to him. Shows she's really kind. And I love that. It works. I love you, kind woman, and I wish you nothing but the best. Although Russell really messed up here because if the kind woman was Ruby's mum, people might have kicked off because we've been bigged up to expecting a big return when it's actually this new character that's announced in the finale. I think that would have made so much more sense. Yeah, the whole church thing, he could have come up with a better reason for. But I think if the plot of this episode is the universe is dead, and the kind woman gives the Doctor a spoon, which saves the universe and brings her daughter back to life, and that daughter being Ruby, I think is a way better ending than just Ruby's mum being some random girl. Let me know if you agree with me on that, because I might be wrong, and a lot of people might have preferred how it is and also been let down by that. But I think that would have been a sick ending, having this kind woman actually be Ruby's mum. Like, I'm sure we all thought it. I definitely thought it when I watched it for the first time. Okay, something I didn't like about the episode was Sutekh's whole motive. Sutekh was about to wipe out all of life, and he did, except the Doctor, Ruby, and Mel, because he wanted to know who Ruby's mother was. What? I'm not buying that for a single second. There's no way this massive god of death gives a single damn about who Ruby's mother is. This random blonde girl that he doesn't care about. And people are saying, oh yeah, but it was because he was on the TARDIS and he's really invested in the story of who she is. He can't rest. And maybe, yeah. But he's been on the TARDIS since the Pyramids of Mars back in like the 80s or whenever that was, 70s. So how on earth are we meant to believe that he didn't come out during the River Song mystery? He didn't come out during the Clara mystery? He didn't come out when Rose came back? What do you mean? I think it would have worked a lot better. There's so many things that could have worked better if Russell had written them slightly better. So for example, instead of saying that Sutekh had been on the TARDIS since the Pyramids of Mars, why not say Sutekh got on the TARDIS in Wild Blue Yonder when the Doctor sprinkled the soul and that opened the what's the word? The void for the nasty stuff to come in. That would have been a much better reason, and that might have made me believe why Sutekh came out to find out who Ruby's mum is. That would have made more sense to me. But no, he just has been there for flipping years somehow. Another big flaw I have with this episode is Sutekh's actual ending. It's the same as before. Let's just write it down, okay? This massive god, he wasn't a god back then, but he's a god now. This massive evil thing, the worst thing the Doctor has ever faced, was defeated by the Doctor all these years ago by being thrown into the time vortex. The past 90 minutes of Doctor Who has proven that this doesn't work. He got thrown into the time vortex and then clung onto the TARDIS. Throwing Sutekh into the time vortex doesn't work as a way to defeat him. So Doctor, how on earth are we going to defeat him this time? You're just going to do the same thing again and throw him in the vortex again? All right, yeah, makes sense, that one. I just think, like, come on, man. Like, we should have killed Sutekh. As much as, yeah, the Doctor has this moment where he's like, I must kill now, this is bad. And then he chops him off and throws him in the time vortex. I think my plot for earlier would have been better. Get every planet to be restored slowly. And they use their energy, their weapons, to kill Sutekh. And we actually see a murder from the Doctor. That would have been more impactful, I think. Because it would have shown this god is that bad. He needs to be killed. He needs to be killed. Otherwise, he's going to just cause mass destruction for the rest of time ever. But maybe I'm nitpicking. Who knows? Let's talk about reversing the deaths. You know, Russell T Davies, he loves a good reset button. You know, look at The Sound of Drums and The Last of the Time Lords with the John Sim Master and David Tennant. That whole year, Martha's family's being tortured. Earth is dying. The people are being held hostage. And then what does he do at the end? Reverse the whole year. Let's reverse back a year, guys. And nobody remembers anything. Yeah, sound. I'm not a big fan of reset buttons. Okay, no. I am a big fan of reset buttons, but if they're done correctly. This might be me, you know, trying to, what's the word? Munch my own biscuit. Oh, that sounds a bit grim. What's the phrase? Blow my own trumpet. That's it. Munch my own biscuit. That's my new one now. It might be me trying to blow my own trumpet, right? And I'm not trying to do that. But I think, like I said earlier, if it was a 3-part finale, we could have got the Doctor regenerating worlds slowly throughout the final part, and they all come together to destroy Sutekh. I know I bring this up quite a lot in this video. I just think that would have been far more superior than just click my fingers, everyone's back to life now. Everyone's back alive who was dead before. Yeah, nice. Right, here we go. The big one. The one that I've convinced myself for a year that I actually thought was quite a good ending, but now I'm sort of having second thoughts about. Ruby's mum! Ruby Sunday's mum! The really important woman who's not important, but she is important because she's not important. Now, I just want to say, I actually don't mind this, and I think it's a good ending if it wasn't so bigged up. But I think the point is it was bigged up. That's the point Russell was making. It was bigged up to then be someone so ordinary. That's the beauty of it. We've bigged up this massive person for it to just be someone so ordinary, which I can get on board with. But Russell's whole point of she's important because we think she's important. No, Russell. No. We don't think she's important. We're told she's important by you. I love you. I love you and your writing. I do. But saying we think she's important when we don't. The only reason we think she's important is because you've written that it snows when Ruby's thinking of things. There's a hidden song inside of Ruby. She's a wrong creature. I don't know. And like I say, I do get the whole message and I do like it, but I do just think, like, you could have given us an actual reveal, Russell. It might have been better. It might have put the fans at more ease. I don't know. So it is a bit of a letdown. Yeah, you should have done the kind woman. It was staring you in the face the whole time. Now, this is where I actually cannot defend Russell anymore. This point I'm about to make is my breaking point for this whole series, right? The pointing. We know on the Church of Ruby Road, when that opens, Ruby's mum, let me reenact it, okay? I'm Ruby's mum. I'm walking away from the church. I've left my daughter there. I'm walking away from the church. But then, all of a sudden, I turn around and I point towards the Doctor. The Doctor spawns in his box. I point. We see that in the opening shot of the church on Ruby Road, and then we see it again on The Legend of Ruby Sunday. Why is she pointing? What's she pointing at, guys? She was pointing at the lamppost that was next to the TARDIS that says Ruby Road, because that means she's now named the daughter. What? There's so many plot holes. I'll save the best till last, but let's just begin with this. First of all, there was no CCTV pointing at her anywhere, so nobody's witnessed her pointing and calling her Ruby because she's pointing at Ruby Road. So that's bloody stupid, isn't it? Nobody's witnessed her pointing at this sign, so nobody knows besides her. So if Ruby got named Cheryl or something by the adopted mum, then that whole pointing would have had no meaning, no purpose. Second of all, if you want to name your daughter after the road, write a note. You're leaving her at a church. Just write on a piece of paper and go, hi, this is my daughter. I'm sorry, I can't look after her. I need you to take her in, but please just do one thing for me. Name her Ruby after the road. Why are you pointing at a sign that no one's witnessed you pointing at? And the third and most important point, there's not even a bloody sign there in the church on Ruby Road. There's no sign there. What's she pointing at? She's pointing at nothing. There's no sign. Sorry, I don't mean to get wound up. But the whole point is she's pointing at this sign to name her daughter after the road, when in the original episode we see the pointing in, there's not a sign that she's pointing to. She's pointing at thin air. Oh, I'm gonna have like a heart attack. Oh, I've just pulled a muscle or something. Just come on, man. It's just, my only hope is we know Ruby's story's not over yet. I'm hoping there's an explanation that her dad is somebody important, that the sign maybe gets explained and and explored more, because it just seems so obviously stupid to not have a sign there and then magically have a sign there at the final minute. That doesn't make a good reveal. That just makes people angry. So I'm sorry, RTD. I love you normally, and I don't mean to be slagging off your writing. But like, when something is that obvious, just think, I'll scrap that. Or, I don't know, we'll just edit a sign in on the Christmas special beforehand. I just think, come on, man. Come on. However, I will say the scene where Ruby and her mum reunite in the coffee shop did make me cry the first time I watched it. It made me teary the second time I watched it, and it did make me cry last night when writing this script as well. Do you want to quickly touch on just a couple more things? First of all, Susan Foreman. Where is she? She could have fit so perfectly in this episode. When Ruby and her mum reunite, the Doctor's outside the coffee shop. He looks at the floor. He's like, Ruby's got family and I don't. Well, you do, Doctor. You got a granddaughter. You could have gone and seen her at this point. So, you know, it would have been nice to have him go and see Susan. And to not be, how do I put this? To not be too sinister. Susan Foreman is alive still. She was the first ever companion of the first ever Doctor in 1963, being the Doctor's granddaughter. She's still alive in real life. We need her back before she dies. And I don't want to say that sinister. And if she dies soon, it's nothing to do with me. But my point stands, right? We need her alive. We need her back in the show while she's still kicking about, because she's a staple part of Doctor Who. She was the first ever companion. She's the Doctor's granddaughter. She needs to come back. I'm surprised she hasn't come back already. So I don't know. But please get Susan Foreman back, Russell. We need her. We need her. She's also still involved. She was at the premiere for season 1, for Christ's sake. Just, come on, get her back now. It's time. And finally, final thing to touch on, Ruby and the Doctor's final farewell. This made me cry as well. It was very sad seeing these two depart because, you know, as much as they only had 8 episodes, I was invested and I did really, really enjoy their dynamic and the adventures they went on. So to seeing it all just end was very, very sad. Normally, I don't feel emotions in the moment. I normally feel the emotions afterwards. To quote Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, the day you lose someone isn't the worst. It's all the days they stay dead. And that also works for, you know, TV shows. The day I finished this normally when I finish Doctor Who series, the day I finish it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, it's finished. It's all finished. It doesn't hit me in the moment normally. It normally takes me a few days or weeks to get used to it. But this did. It hit me in the moment. And it felt very RTD1. It felt very 2005 to 2010 Doctor Who. And I'm all a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of the fact they cut the Doctor saying I love you too. So Ruby says I love you, and then the shot that was kept in was just the Doctor looking at the console, looking all sad, when the original line was he says I love you too, which would have shown great character development and him showing his emotions more. But it's whatever. Nothing major. Nothing major. Anyway, this was definitely the weakest of the series for me, and it was a big letdown of the overarching stories, I feel. But however, it was fun, and that's all that really matters to me, as long as it's a fun episode with good vibes, and it was. I'm going to rank this episode a 3.7, which is probably higher than others would put it. But like I say, like the vibes were there, it's just the plot roundups weren't great, and in the moment it's more annoying because we know we've got to wait another year for Doctor Who to get some more great plot points. But now that Doctor Who season 2 is around the corner, literally a few days away, I'm not too bothered about this anymore, and I can happily watch these episodes without feeling angry at the outcome. Anyway, that's all, folks. Thank you so much for chilling with me on this series. I've had a lot of fun doing these reviews, and I will be doing it for season 2 as well. But if you want to catch all of these season 1 videos compiled into one long video, probably about an hour and 45 to 2 hour long video, it will be published on this channel on Thursday, along with some bonus content at the end as well. So I'm not just going to re-upload the raw stuff. There will be bonus content in there as well. So make sure you watch that when it comes out. It will help me out big time. And subscribe and like with the notification bell on, because I want you by my side for my journey. All right, I've been doing this for a year now, this channel. And properly, I've been doing it for about 9 months. But I want to properly do this now. This is what I want to do. Out of all my projects, this is the one I'm enjoying the most at the minute. So please do subscribe. The new season starts on Saturday, so I will see you then for brand new content. And yeah, for now, I've been Sam from Cybers Industries, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.